Hello and welcome to another edition of Know Your Schools on WISD-TV. My name is Dale Caffey. My special guest today is Joseph Alexander. He's the second-year principal at West Avenue Elementary. And Joseph, time flies when you're having fun. You've had a year under your belt now.
Yes, sir.
How did the first year go at West Avenue?
Wow, it went by very fast. A lot of nerves, a lot of butterflies at first, but what I did learn is the most important is that we have a great community. We have a great staff and a great team of professionals that work there with the children. What I did learn probably the most is that I have a lot of great help from our community partners, that we have adopted partners of education that really helped us a lot this year. But the first year, I think what I learned the most is really collaboration, teamwork, and fostering that into your employees so they can believe in themselves, that they can reach the higher power and be able to reach all the goals that we have set in place for the kids, and to get them to think outside the box, to be creative, and be able to think on their feet, and be able to change, and be able to move our model, to be able to move forward and not get stuck, because that's because this is the way we're telling them, but we're giving teachers the opportunity to make decisions, to have autonomy, and work together in our professional learning community. So that's really what I learned a lot, is more of the teamwork and putting the schedule together and being collaborative, be transformational, so that the teachers can see that you are working with them and not against them.
Right. Now, you had the experience of being an assistant principal at University High School,
yes, sir.
Correct? And then taking over at the elementary side of things. We talked a little bit about last year, going from high school to elementary. How was that adjustment for you?
At first, it was different because every morning I would stand in my post and meet the parents and meet the kids as they was coming in, and so that part, it was really interesting because the kids still say good morning. That took me a little while to get used to that, because coming from high school, they pretty much are a little grown, so sometimes they may not always talk to you the same time or the same day. But the kids were always friendly. They was always excited. They would always say, "Good morning, Mr. Alexander. Good morning, good morning, good morning," as we would give them high five or fist bumps or a pat on the back to say, we appreciate you being here. Thank you for being here. And that kind of helped us with, even when we had to call parents and ask them, it's like, "Hey, where's your child? I need your child here. I didn't miss, he missed his fist bump this morning, so we're looking for him every day." So, the connections that we made, that was really the key, was the relationships.
Do you consider yourself a role model for those young children at West Avenue?
I do. I take it personal. It's a standard that I set for myself, that I work very, very hard, because I realize I have priorities and responsibilities, but I realize that the people must come first, so I have to be out there in the hallways, be in the classrooms, because the kids need to see their leader. They need to see who's the principal. They need to see that it's okay to learn from their mistakes. It's okay to learn from failure, but we're trying to change the behavior, and it takes some time, but it's okay. But I'm there to try to help them, to support them, and encourage them, because somebody did that for me, and I realized I had to give back, and that my way of giving back is being among the kids and going to their houses, because I still make home visits to check on the kids and say, "Hey, I heard you had a complaint. I'm here, talk to me now about what you're concerned," because sometimes the parents don't have transportation. So sometimes I have to stop and go to them and find out what the problem is before it becomes a larger problem.
You mentioned going to them, and that's nothing strange to you as the principal or your staff, because you guys reach out to the community. You go out to parents. Specifically, I think you have an engagement now at Kate Ross coming up.
Yes, we have. We're going out to Kate Ross August 7th, and we'll be out there from 2 to 4. What we're trying to do is to raise the power of children and their parents, and getting them to understand it's crucial to have kids registered prior to the school year, because it's less confusing for the children, for the parents, and it cuts down on the frustration. So we're going out there to help them, to encourage them, to get them motivated, and to help them with school supplies that the kids may have or may not have. And that's the way the community can ask us to say, "Hey, we might need this, can you help us with this?" And we do our best to try to help them, with offering supplies and with the kids, because this year, the parents, I really want them to understand that Monday through Thursday, the kids are going to have homework. So that's something that we are going to make sure that it's an initiative, that the children have homework, and we expect the folder to come back and forth, and then making sure that they're reading to their children every day. And that's something that I also learned when I went to continuing education and how important it is for children and families to work together as they're at home.
I know that parental involvement was a big focus of yours during your first year as principal. We went there several nights to your events and saw a great number of parents interacting with their kids. Is that going to be a continued focus?
Yeah,
this year?
for us, it's about annual event that we're trying to, we're working really, really hard to collaborate. I met with PTA last night. They came through and talked to me one-on-one in a small group setting. We met from about 5:30 to 7:30 because it's very important for me to be able to give up my time to be able to talk to the parents and talk to the community members that they may not talk to me, but they will talk to another parent that they feel connected to, and it's good for us to be part of that. And like I told the parents, the PTA is like, I want to know the good, bad, the ugly, so I can improve to make the changes necessary. And I know one of the concerns they had was about the lunches, so we're talking about that now, about the parents being able to come and to lunch and be able to sign out and sit down with their children. And that's important. If they feel like that's important, then that's a change that we need to make sure that it's throughout the schoolhouse, and make sure that we are inviting the parents and making sure that they feel welcome when they do come to the school.
One of the things that always stands out in my mind when I think about West Avenue is the talented singers that you have.
Yeah.
You still have Brad Forehand on the team?
Yes, we still got Mr. Forehand, so thank you. So, we try to make sure with parents, we have at least 2 activities a month, during the day for parents that do have to work, and also for parents that have to work in the evening time. So we have events going on in the evening time as well. It could be academic, it could be, arts and craft, it could be musical. When we come back, we have Meet the Teacher Night on August 21st from 5 to 7 at West Avenue. Then we'll follow up a month later. We'll be reaching out to doing our open house, which will be on Tuesday, September 16th, and that will be from 5 to 7 too. And that's another way for the parents to connect with us, because we realize Meet the Teacher is just kind of informal. They're just coming through, and the teachers are helping parents, getting their kids getting acclimated, make sure they know where their stuff is going to be, and helping where their desk is going to be. But it's more formal when they come back a month later, because the kids actually have done some work, and the parents can say, hey, okay, this is what I need to work with my child. That connection with the child and the parent and the teacher is seamless, because they already know who the teacher is, and it makes it a lot easier for that child to be able to go home and say, Mommy, I need help. Can you help me? Because I know Miss Gerlach or Miss Ashford or Miss Richmond or Miss Spikes, or Miss Goodman or Mr. Walker, because I got a whole, a great staff. So I'm just really, really excited about coming in the second year.
Now, principals work year-round, so when the school ends in early June, most people vacate the premises, but you and a handful of staff remain there. You've had a busy summer.
Yes.
And you had the opportunity to attend a Raise Your Hand Texas event, I believe.
Yes, sir.
Tell me how that came about. That was quite an honor, I believe.
Yes, it was. It was an extensive process that I went through. I was very honored for the opportunity and chosen to represent not just the state, but more importantly my district, and more importantly than that, my school and the community itself. Raise Your Hand Texas afforded me the opportunity to go through a process to be selected from the state of Texas. There was 50 of us that was selected, and what we had to go through, I found out around November, December that the opportunity was presented for just principals. You had to be a sitting principal to be able to apply. So I had to wait till January, and we had to I had to write 2 long essays for the process. Then we had to wait another month. Then they contacted us again, and we had to make the decision. Either I was going to do it by phone, by Skype, or drive to Austin or Houston, and I decided to do mine on the phone. So that was about another hour interview. Then they came back. We had to write another essay explaining why would you want to go to Harvard School of Education, the Graduate School of Education at Harvard. Why would you be the one that's selected out of all the principals in the state of Texas? So we had to write on that process. And then when we finally got the word of the end of April that I was selected, I felt like a Chester cat. I was smiling from grin to grin, because I had never thought in a million years that I had the opportunity to go to Boston, Massachusetts, to be able to study at the world-renowned School of Graduate Education at Harvard University. And it was impressive once we got there, because classes started on Sunday night, which was my birthday, so it made it a little harder. But we study from 8 o'clock in the morning to 5 o'clock in the evening, and we studied from Sunday through Saturday, so it was very extensive. I learned a lot, not just about myself, but the art of leadership and what does leadership looks like and sound like was really what I learned from that, and a really more of an impactful role of learning and growing together and working with your professional learning communities and setting up your schedule so your teachers have the time to do the work, and also knowing what to do with the data when we are assessing the children.
Well, it sounds to me like, you know, you got a year under your belt now. Yes. As the principal. You've gone to this institute now, and do you feel like you're a much more confident principal as you're heading into year 2?
Yeah, I feel like I really am now, because, you know, with all the webinars that I have been watching with Lead Forward that we have, the initiative they have, that really holds the principals accountable to watch the webinars, which is a video base that we really have to sit down and analyze. It focuses us to make sure that, okay, this is the 4 big questions that we have to focus on for the month of August. And then it gives us a leadership lesson plan that we also have to complete, and it holds us accountable. When do we decide to give this information to our staff? Is it in the faculty meetings? Is it going to be in our professional learning communities? And it gives us that hope that we can do this, because it breaks it down for us, and it tells us strategically, okay, you need to analyze this data here. We need to understand that we have to focus on the specific process standards, because the process standards are dual coded. So that tells us that in science and math, we got to be able to teach the tools, and then the kids got to be able to show us the ways, how do they understand it. And most of those questions are embedded into the STAR exam, so we have to be very focused on which teaks we're going to implement each unit throughout the school year. And that's really the key that I found out from working with all that.
Wow. Well, you've had a busy year, a busy summer, and here we come to a new school year. Any final message you want to send to those parents and your West Avenue students?
I think, you know, to the parents, I want to hear your concerns. I want to hear the goodness of what we do. I also want to hear your concerns. It's very important for me as the leader to be able to lead by example, to be able to assist you and be able to help what you need. And, you know, don't be afraid to come up to me and talk to me if there's a problem. I'm more than willing to stop what I'm doing to try to help you and your child, because I want your child to be successful. But I also need your help as well to make sure that, you know, the children are coming back and forth with homework. And if they're not getting it, please let me know, because that's something that's an extension, because we really worked hard on our 5E model to make sure that the teachers are engaging the kids, make sure the lessons are very rigorous, and make sure they're relevant, and make sure they're using instructional technology. So we need to, you know, elaborate and explore and extend those activities and give the kids examples of what we're expecting them to learn and what they'll be able to do, because we realized from the model from the district is that they must have to learn today so they can be leaders in the future.
Very good. Thank you so much, Joseph Alexander.
Yes, thank you.
Again, this is Joseph Alexander. He is your principal at West Avenue Elementary. And thank you so much for joining us for this edition of Know Your Schools on WISD TV.